What is up, guys, and welcome to this F2 race around Australia, here for round one of the RNL League race season. We're going to be driving in Callum Ilot's Red Uni Virtuosi, and if you want to watch this live, we do stream this on a Saturday, 7 PM UK time, so make sure you tune in for that if you want to see this live. But here we go, one shot qualifying, that is the rules for this league race. And so let's take you around a hot lap here of Melbourne Park. Down in towards turn one, want to drop it down into third gear, and then just try and use as much curbs as you possibly can around the first two corners without losing the back end. Heading down to here, braking at the 100 meter ball, getting it down to second, really kissing the apex on the right hand side, shifting up to third, nice and early on the brakes, trying to get the car nicely into that left-hander. Now we've not quite flat out through here, just a little bit of a lift, and let the car drift out all the way to the left. Braking here where the wall kind of ends on the left-hand side, trying to cut as much curb as you possibly can. I got a little bit of oversteer, but thankfully corrected it quite well. With these F2 cars, oversteer is quite usual. So you have to be very good at learning when to correct it and trying not to do it too much, which you will see, of course, quite often happening in this race. Nice and tidy as we head onto the back straight now. Now, this is a tricky section of the track. You really want to slow the car down through the first chicane, hug the left to then really slingshot yourself out through this part. It's very tricky, that outside curb. If you bite it too much, it will throw you off into the wall. As we're now heading down to the last part of the lap, braking just after the 100 meter board there, and nice and tidy through the right hander in towards this fast corner, just a little bit of a brake, and then hard on the brakes here, down into second, really cutting the apex, not getting the car out too wide, getting it nicely tucked over for the left hand side, maximize your cornering speed through there. Come on, come on, come on. How good is it? Is it enough? Nah, it's not enough. It's not enough. I reckon Markin got another 33.4, didn't he? And it was, of course, Markin who has beaten us there to pole position. But P3 in our first race, we're actually very happy with that. We do feel like we had maybe 2 tenths more in the tank, unfortunately. So could have been round there fighting with Beaker, but just messed up a little bit too much into turn one. Was a little bit too cautious at the start of the lap. But here we go, getting straight into the first race now. Remember, in F2, we have a feature and a sprint. As the lights are coming on now, as we go to 5 red lights. It's a long hold, but we are underway. And it's a cracking start there compared to Beaker on the right-hand side. Does not clearly know how to start these F2 cars. I'm not going to reveal my secrets, but you can probably work it out but just by watching back on the clip. But that's a good start for us. We're up in a second. My teammate Foxy, that's the man who I'm currently on the comms with. So if you do hear me talking to anybody during this race, I'm currently talking to Foxy throughout this whole race. We're teammates, we're working together, and we're trying to get a good result between the two of us. I'm right up behind Markin, though. He is going really slowly on this first lap, and you've got to be really cautious with these medium tyres. In F2, the tyres take longer to heat up than an F1 car. So the medium tyres, starting on the the harder tyre between the two, the mediums and the super softs, you're losing that grip very early on. So you've got to be cautious at the start, but you've also got to be quick because you want to maximise your start as much as possible whilst the other guys struggle. If you can gain there, then it's going to be massive for you. And obviously, luckily, we are gaining on Mark, and we actually get a great run out of this corner. I felt like I was really strong through that left-hander, that little last corner as you go onto this long back straight, maximising our exit there and really gaining on Markin here on the first lap. But couldn't quite get him down into the chicane. Now we're cutting ahead to the end of lap 1. It's really nice and tidy here at the end of the lap, and we're practically pushing him through. Oh, I'm right on his tail. I'm right on his tail here. As you can hear me there, right to his tail. We have a little look around the outside. I just didn't think I was capable to do it around the outside. Overtaking on the outside of a corner is very, very risky. I tried to go for a little bit of a switchback maneuver. Didn't quite work out. We didn't get on the power early enough, nor did we cut the corner early enough as well, as we're now trying to get around the outside. But Markin defending it beautifully. Try another switchback. No room around the outside there. Markin again closes the door nicely. I don't think he was dirty at all. I thought he just defended really well, put his car in the right positions, and made it very, very difficult for me to overtake. As we're now cutting ahead to the midway section of lap 2. Once again, having another look on Markin, a little look around the outside, but again, nothing through there. You're not overtaking around the outside as you came, but we're so close. Oh, I'm so close to him. I'm practically pushing him through corners. There you go, said it perfectly. Practically pushing him through the corner there. Now we're going to try another one round the outside, but once again, Markin perfectly defends it on the corner, pushing me a little bit out wide, more than I would have liked there, but I think that was perfectly on the limit. He was perfectly in his right to do so. He had the inside line, and again, just defended perfectly as Markin goes and set the fastest lap, and we just got a little bit a little bit too aggressive there, down in towards turn 1. And now that's actually allowed Foxy to get very close to the rear of my car. But fortunately for us, he wasn't able to go for an overtake. So we're now here on lap 4, right up again behind Marken. So we lost a little bit of time at the start of the lap, but we gained it back at the end. And again, having that run out of the corner, down in towards turn 1. We go for that switchback line right around the outside now of turn 2. But then we lose the back end and...
Oh my god!
It was very close. It was so close there. Just losing the back end ever so slightly. Luckily, we got a small touch, wheel to wheel, front left to rear right, and that sort of allowed our car to become stable again. And thankfully, that got us pointing in the right direction. But that was a close one. So we cut ahead now to lap 7. It's been so close between the two of us throughout this entire race as we're heading towards the last lap now. We're going to get a few more opportunities, hopefully, to go on the attack of Marken. But again, only 3 attempts off of Marken at this point of the race. The yellow flag is out. I believe that's a driver behind Seal. Has unfortunately DNF'd for him. So that's great news for my teammate Foxy as it moves him up into 4th position. But now we go on to the final lap of this Australian Grand Prix. Once again, looking around the outside, Marken defends beautifully. This time, not trying to go around the outside because we saw that didn't work. We're again getting a great run out of that corner, but again, we are having to have a look around the outside. Marken on the inside line, defending perfectly, giving each other lots of room, and I actually lose the back end ever so slightly. In this car, if you lock the rears, it's so easy to do so. And unfortunately, that's what we did there. Just lost the back end, and that sort of really hurt our chances. But again, we're so good out of this corner. Had a fantastic exit compared to Marken. We actually probably could have got him down towards this corner, but I wanted to get the DRS because I thought if he got it, he would definitely get me back. He was running a lot lower wings than I was, so he was very, very rapid in a straight line. We get the DRS now, once again, trying it around the outside. We've tried this move so many times in this race. Marken defending beautifully once more. Again, just trying to push me off the circuit. But again, we can't get it done there. And it looks like it is job done. We have no real opportunities unless we have a great run. But he actually doesn't defend the inside line. We go for an audacious send up the inside. You can see my face smiling because I know I've got the job done. But there is one more corner left to go.
I've fucking done it! I've fucking done it! Last lap! Yes! Yes! What a battle! But what a fucking send! Oh, yes! 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 Marken, G fucking G, mate. That was a awesome battle.
And there we go. Great battle there between myself and Marken at the end of this race. But we did take the race win. We take the 25 points home. And Marken there, 18 points, looking like a championship rival for the rest of the season. Don't count out Beaker as well. He could look like someone that could get involved later on this season. I think he just had a bad start and got caught up in some collisions early on. But that was just absolutely incredible. Such a good battle. 8 laps long between the two of us. We were neck and neck throughout that whole entire race. And we get to go again now with the sprint race. Of course, F2 rules. We finish first, which means that we now start 8th. The top 8 in the feature race are then flipped. So now we're starting in 8th position. Marken's in 7th. I think we got Foxy there in 4th. So now we go again. It's 5 red lights here in Australia for the sprint race. And we're underway, and it's a fairly good start again. I wouldn't say it's particularly amazing. It's just sort of equal compared to everybody else. And we're just going to take it nice and cautiously around the outside. There's a few cars coming together, and we had to really back off there, but also push at the same time. It's very hard to do so when you're racing online. You've got so many people around you because you don't want to lose out by backing off too much or allow somebody to hit into the back of you, as we have Will Gibson going for a send. Now, I wasn't too worried about fighting with Will. My championship rival looks to be Marken in this season, and he got caught up in that palaver down at turn 1. So he's actually at the back of proceedings. So we are currently beating him right now, which is good news for us. We're going to gain points on him. But if we can get past Will, if we can gain some more positions in this race and maybe go catch up to Beaker, who's leading this race, then that would be absolutely fantastic, as Will just loses the back end ever so slightly around the last corner. Gives us a great run all the way down in towards turn 1. But again, we're on this outside line. So we're going to have to try and do the same maneuver that we did against Marken. We brake really early. We go for the switchback move. Will cuts the corner completely messes himself up, and we get the inside line, just sort of pushes us out towards the edge of the curb there, but all was legal. He kept us still on the track there, and he goes for a great send right around the outside, and actually really holds it well. Like, we maybe gave him a little bit too much room, and then I thought I had the move done. I didn't think he would actually stick his nose up the inside there, and there was actually contact between the two of us, but the guys in the end said that it was a bit more of an audacious move there from Will Gibson, so we're happy to get away with that one. Now we're in P4. This is lap 3 out of 6, so we're about halfway through this race now, as we can see Hyper and Seal having a nice little battle forming ahead of us. Now Hyper has 2 seconds of penalties, so that's good news for us, because if we can just stay in this position behind them, then we're definitely going to get P3. We're going to get onto the podium once again. But of course, you know, we've got to do it for the content. We can't just sit behind, be boring, and hold position. We're going to see if we can get through and maybe even have a chance to go hunt down Beaker, who's setting fastest laps right now. He's just running away. But he starts on the front row, and he is running away with the race right now. So we're just following behind Seal and Hyper. There's no real way to get through right now, as they're having a fantastic battle, going side by side once again as we go down in towards turn 3.
Not a lot I can do at the moment when they're going side by side of each other.
And there you go, like I say, not a lot I can do. When they're going side by side together, especially in F2 cars, you don't have ERS to manage, you don't have fuel to manage, so there's nothing we can really use to gain. It's all about flat out racing, and that in all fairness is why I love F2 cars so much, because you don't have to worry about anything. It's so simple, it's just racing. As now we get a great run out of the chicane. Hypers actually loses the back end. Seal goes for the overtake on the left. I find the smallest of gaps there on the inside line. I get Hypers. We're side by side though into the corner. Seal actually gives me loads of room on the inside. I was expecting him to shut the door, and he just doesn't even shut the door here, so he gives us more room on the inside. We go side by side with Seal once again in towards the penultimate corner now, trying to hold it around the outside. Seal, do you know what? Fair play to him. Very respectful racing between the two of us, getting inches away from each other's tyres, but at no point did we make any contact through those corners, and fair play to Seal. We did make it rather easy for me there, but that move on Hyper was absolutely insane.
Mate, that overtake, I went for the smallest of gaps. Like, there wasn't a gap there.
There wasn't a gap there at all. I'm so surprised. I think I got a little bit too overexcited at that point. I probably shouldn't have gone for that overtake, but it worked out for us, and I'm so glad it did, because if it didn't, we would be regretting that massively as we come through turn 1 and turn 2 for the final time here on lap 6 of the sprint race. And Beaker has actually had a spin, so we're now only 2 seconds behind the race leader. Not too sure if he's got damage. If he does, then maybe we can catch up to him, but unfortunately it looks like he is going nice and smoothly through the corners now. We're not actually gaining too much time on him, and no, we're not. The gap stayed exactly the same at the end, so unfortunately we will not be catching up to Beaker unless anything crazy happens at the end of this race as we come through the last couple of corners now into the penultimate corner. This, of course, we made that incredible overtake on Mark, and just running it a little bit deep there on the exit through the final corner now, and it's going to be a fantastic P2 in the sprint race.
Make it, and it's going to be a P2, back-to-back podiums. Yes! 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 Oh, what an amazing couple of races that was.
That was absolutely fantastic. Very, very happy with both performances in the race. And with that, we are going to have a look at the championship standings in a second. But we'll look at the race results. Beaker takes the race win. We finish in second. Seal was third. Foxy again in P4. So good, consistent racing from my teammate. Hopefully for him, he can get some good results, but not too good. Hopefully he doesn't beat me. But here we go. The driver's standings. A race win and a second place puts us top 37 points and 9 points ahead of Marken in the championship. So very, very happy with that. But there's a long way left to go. There's going to be about 26 races in this season. So a long, long way to go. But thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more of this league racing content. And of course, we're going to have my team coming soon. If you want to go check these races out live, go check me out on Twitch. Link will be down in the description as well. And we're streaming these races every Saturday. But until next time, guys, have a fantastic evening. And I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.